Happy STAMPtember! Hello, welcome. I'm not sure where you're watching us, but we're broadcasting live on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel as well as the Gina K Designs YouTube channel. I am Heidi from Simon Says Stamp, and I am on the road today. You may have guessed from all of the behind the scenes on social media that today is our Gina K collaboration for STAMPtember Day, and it really is shimmering with light. It's really delightful. We're going to be showing it in a minute. I do want to talk about some housekeeping real quick before we bring our special guest on. I'm the guest, she's the guest. It is not sold out yet. The link to the products is pinned in the chat, and I see in the chat that people are saying sold out, sold out. It's not sold out just yet. We are just now adding, Stephanie is behind the scenes. Thank you, Stephanie. Adding the product and the inventory images to the Simon Says Stamp website, so no fret. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Today is STAMPtember. What a great way to kick off the week. Tom is here in the Gina K Design Studio, as well as our very special person, Gina, from Gina K Designs. Gina, will you come join me when you get a second in the your studio?
Hello, everybody.
It's good to see you. Thank you for having me. I'm going to have you go to this side because Gina's got good. All kinds of things she's going to be showing today. So not only are we going to be showcasing the collaboration today. Thank you, Gina, for being part of STAMPtember. She always makes it special, invites us into her home, invites us into our studio so we can share this. And you're going to be making live on screen today.
I'm so excited. Yes.
And this year she did something even extra special because during STAMPtember, we love to surprise and delight you. And Gina definitely gets behind the surprise of it all. She has an additional product that will be surprising and delighting all of you this year for STAMPtember. I will be showing, is now a good time, Gina, to take my laptop off?
Sure.
Why don't you talk for a second?
I've
been talking all day.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, when Heidi said that it was linked, it's linked over on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. We don't have it linked and pinned yet here in on the Gina K Designs YouTube channel, but we will do that in just a minute.
First, we'll show the product.
Okay. All right. We'll show the product.
Okay. First, I will show you guys the product. Tom, will you go ahead and move the camera? This is the Gina K Designs 2025 collaboration. It's called Shimmering Christmas. And you are really going to see when you see the rest of the products and when you see Gina making how shimmering is really the theme of the day. And when Gina gets back on screen, even her shirt is shimmering today, which I love this shimmering shirt. So this is the stamp set. So the stamps are available exclusively at simonsaysstamp.com. They're only while supplies last. So this is a limited edition. You guys, the STAMPtember buzz, the STAMPtember excitement is only for STAMPtember. This is Shimmering Christmas stamp set. There is also this beautiful Shimmering Christmas Polyglaze. Yes. This is the extra surprise this year, and it's loaded with sheets. Before I show even the dies, I want to go ahead and show how many sheets are in this fabulous pack. And Gina, did you make all of these here in Wisconsin?
We have them printed in the United States.
Okay. No, the secrets are not all revealed.
Yes.
But they're all revealed image-wise.
Yep.
So you get all of these sheets available during STAMPtember. There's actually 10. I used one. Oh my gosh. I used one.
You did use one.
There are 10 Polyglaze sheets. You would think I've never done this before. I'm sorry. I'm in Gina's studio. So those Polyglaze sheets are going to be able to be cut out with the exclusive STAMPtember dies. So there's actually 3 products this year. There's this Shimmering Christmas die set. All of this has been designed by Gina. There's also the stamps. And then as you saw just a minute ago, there's a beautiful package of Polyglaze.
Here's the extra one. I don't think you did.
Oh, that is the extra one.
There's the extra.
I'm sorry. I'm just so nervous. I'm shaking. So the Polyglaze is also part of STAMPtember, and how we've done it for you this year at Simon Says Stamp is for purchase options. I love options, and so we've given you options for purchasing this year. You may purchase just the stamp set if you want. We have a bundle of the stamp and the die set available for purchase, and Gina will be showing you later. These dies cut out the stamps and the Polyglaze beautifully. And the Polyglaze are also available in a bundle. Stamps, dies, and Polyglaze. If you want to get all three, which really is the way to go.
I think
But
so.
since we like options, Gina talked some sense into me because I am one of those people that likes to mass produce Christmas cards, holiday cards. So if you want extra Polyglazes because you're going to be mass producing this year or for any reason, we do have the Polyglaze available as the STAMPtember extra surprise for you. You can add extra Polyglaze packs to your cart if you'd like to pick up extra Polyglazes. So these are the STAMPtember 2025 collaboration exclusives by Gina K Designs for all of you. Okay, Gina, I am going to go off screen because
Okay.
I know you have beautiful things to show and to talk about. So I will step aside, and Gina, thank you for doing this.
Oh, this is so much fun. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. So we are going to have a lot of fun because I thought today I would show you two different ways to use the products that we're releasing. So I'm going to show you a card that I'm going to make using one of our master layout sets, and then I have a ton of samples to show you. I have to tell you guys that Heidi came in on Friday night after her live. She went live on Friday for her own on her own channel, and then she hopped on a plane, came in Friday night, and since Friday night, Heidi and I have been having all kinds of fun, getting into all kinds of trouble, and we've had a lot of creative time together. So we've been playing in my home craft room, and I made a ton of cards to show you today, and I'm really excited about that. It's been great. So what I want to show you first is I thought it would be cool to show you how you can incorporate maybe some of the products that you already have in your collection, how to maybe mask a few things off and use this with one of my favorite master layout sets. Now I'm going to show you this because this isn't one of the samples that I have, but I thought it would be fun to share. Well, I think I do have a sample of this, but I want to make it anyway. So for those of you that are all into the postage buzz, I thought the first card that I could make today would use Master Layouts 14. So Master Layouts 14 is our postage die set. And for those of you that already have this, or if you have a postage die set from another company, that's totally fine too. You can make a very similar card to what I'm going to make today. And if you don't have this one, we made sure last night that Simon Says Stamp had this one in stock for you because nothing is more frustrating than getting ready to buy something and you want something else and it's not there. So Heidi and I went through and we checked a few things to make sure that we wouldn't disappoint you. So
Yes, Gina's on top of things. Like you guys, especially those of you who watch Gina regularly, understand that and know she's often encouraging the rest of. Ooh!
Yeah, look at that. See, that's a great way to clean that out. We'll just wipe that all on the floor like I do in my kitchen. Okay, so this is the die that I'm going to use from Master Layouts 14. And if you're new to Gina K Designs, our Master Layouts die sets are a series of layout dies that create card layouts similar to like scrapbook layouts, but for cards, where things layer together and mix and match together to make perfect layouts so you don't have to worry about cutting things and getting them to be in the right spot and stuff like that. So check out our Master Layouts dies, and also on my YouTube channel I have a whole Master Layouts video series showing you how to use all of these products. All right, let me get my glasses because I can't see anything. And Heidi wore them most of the weekend, so she's lying if she says she doesn't wear glasses because she was grabbing them every minute. So I'm just going to cut a 1/4 sheet of cardstock here, and I'm going to cut out this die. So I am going to use my Intracut die cutting machine. Of course, these dies work with any die cutting machine. They're wafer thin dies, super high quality. And I happen to have a brand new cutting mat just for STAMPtember. I thought I would get a new one, Heidi, just for STAMPtember. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit to make sure this cuts because there's a lot of little intricate dots here. And that's one of the fun things about our Intracut die cutting machine is that you can tighten up the machine if you have an intricate die, and that will allow you to get a better cut. Sometimes I flip it over because I find that dies cut even a little bit better upside down. So if you ever have trouble with an intricate die, make sure that you try cutting it upside down before you give up on that. And I don't know why that works so well, but sometimes it works, and it's worth giving it a shot. All right, we'll see all the holes already came out of that, and that is ready to go. Now, again, you can use, I have so many different cards to show you, so you don't have to make a postage card. But when we were making this weekend, I asked Heidi what her favorite card was that I made, and she had a lot of opinions. As we were making the cards, she was like, okay, this is my favorite. And then she was like, no, this is my favorite. But at the end of the night last night, I think this one ranked as your all-time favorite.
Have you shown it yet?
The card? No, I'm going to make it for them.
You're going to make it and then show it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to make it and show them the make.
I'm an eager beaver, so I'm just...
All right, do you want me to show them the card I'm going to make? I'll show them the card. All right.
You know what's best.
Here's the card that we're going to make. Let me zoom in a little bit too, so people can see, because I think it is good to see the card. And she's such a snot. Okay, here's the card we're going to make. Isn't that pretty? And what I like about this is these stamps can be colored in if you want. You could color in these Christmas balls with Copic markers. You can ink blend over them, but they can also be used as silhouette stamps. They can be used with embossing powder, and then they can also be used with the Polyglaze, which I'm going to show you next. All right, so I'm going to get my sticky mat here, and I'm going to place this panel right here on my sticky mat. Now, with Master Layouts 4, there's also a coordinating stencil. If you want to use that, you can use that to do the blending. But in case you don't have the stencil, or you have other things in your cart and you're like, I don't know if I need the stencil, I want to show you how you can do this using Masking Magic. So Masking Magic is a Gina K Designs product that is comes in either full sheets or in strips. So the strips come in 3 different sizes, all in one package. You have the 1/4 inch, which I'm going to use. You have the 1/2 inch, which I use all the time to tack down my dies. And it comes in a 1/8 of an inch size, which I love to use for other kinds of masking backgrounds and techniques. So all of these are super useful, and you get all of them in the one package of the Master Layouts, of the Masking Magic strips. So you can either use the stencil. The stencil is called the Postage Grid Stencil, and that will fit right over this so that you can do your ink blending. But I really also like the Masking Magic because when I'm doing stamping on something like this, I really like the flatness. Do you know what I mean? Masking Magic is so flat because it's paper. So then when your stamping goes right to the very edge. You don't have to worry about trying to jump down past the level of a stencil. So I use the stencil when I'm going to die cut and pop things up in these squares. I use the Masking Magic strips when I want to do direct stamping and I want to get it right to the edge, because you can see that is perfect right to the edge. All right, so to use the Masking Magic strips for this, what you're going to do is you're just going to, and the nice thing about the Masking Magic is you can see through it. So I can see through the dots. I know it might be hard for you to see here, but let's see if I can get it in the light. Can you see? You can see the dots right through that. And so that makes it easy to line up because the dots really do help you line this up. So I'm going to put one down the center, then I'm going to put one right across here, like this. All right. Then I'm going to put one here to cover this up. Sorry if my head gets in the way. I do have an appointment to get my roots done, so if anybody sees any roots, I apologize for that. Seriously, like airplanes are like, I'm scared they're going to land. They see this landing strip going down the front of my head.
It's a good thing you have a daughter that knows hair too. What a luxury.
I know, right?
Do you mind if I talk a little housekeeping while you're masking?
Yeah, come on in.
Okay, while she's doing the masking strips. I just want to let everybody know that we are moderating the chats. So whether you're watching on the Simon Says Stamp channel or one of Gina's channels, go ahead and ask questions because I'm kind of back in the corner here with Tom and we're moderating the chat. We have Beth who's helping with links. And if you have questions, ask. If it's a customer service question, like about shipping rates or combining things, those can go to service@simonsaysstamp.com. But if you have questions about the products that are applicable to the live today, that's what we're here for. You're here live, so let's take advantage of that and interact live. You're lining everything up so perfectly. And
well, not exactly perfectly, but better than horrible. So that's all that matters, right? So I'm just putting these around the edge too to block off the edge and also to create my little bit of shading that I want to put in each of these blocks. And again, this might be a little bit more time consuming than just using that stencil. So, we're just going to do this today just in case somebody doesn't have the stencil. I want to show them that if you can mask, if you have masking paper, you can do this. The other thing too is if you have the Masking Magic sheets, not the strips, or you have other masking paper in your collection, just cut it into strips. It's very easy to cut, and then you can create your own strips using your own masking paper that you might have if you have something from another company. But I will tell you, and I'm not just saying this, I'm serious about masking paper. I have a real passion for masking paper, and Masking Magic was produced by my friends at ThermoWeb for me. They know how persnickety I am about masking paper because I don't want it to tear the paper, and I don't want, if you stamp on it, especially with this like dark black ink, I don't want it to bleed through. So let me find my blending brush. So that was, we worked a long time to get really, really good masking paper. And I think if you try it, you will really like it and you'll be able to see the difference. And the other thing about it is it doesn't bleed through, but it dries super quickly to the surface. So that's nice too because there's less apt to smear, especially if you're using our Masking Magic to cut around things, to, mask flowers and little critters and things like that. All right, so I'm going to be using sea glass ink for this. And I'm just going to ink up my blending brush, and I am going to add a little bit of color into each one of these squares. Just a little bit of color.
Gina K.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't expect that to work.
I know. I never shut up long
Good
enough
luck
for
getting
Tom to ask a question.
Good luck getting a word of the day in today. Anyway, for viewers who are not familiar with Polyglaze, is there a video they can watch or to learn about what Polyglaze is or somewhere to go?
Yes, there is. I have on my YouTube channel, I have a whole foiling playlist that talks about Polyglaze, what it is, different ways to use it, all kinds of things. But if you're watching this video today, please stay tuned because my next card I'm going to be using Polyglaze, and I'm going to teach you a lot about it today. So you're going to learn a lot about Polyglaze just by watching today's video and understanding not just how to use it with foil, but how to use it without foil too, and how cool it is to use in other ways. So stay tuned for that. I promise you we'll give you some good education on it today. All right. So now that I have this blue in here, I'm not taking the Masking Magic strips off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Misti, and inside my Misti I have the Gina K Designs Grip Mat. Let me zoom out just a little bit because I am just a hair close here. And I know a lot of my viewers, people that watch me on my channel, watch on their 76-inch televisions, and so it's bad enough that you have to see everything that big when it comes to my front shot, but the overhead, I want to make sure that it looks good. Now, I have this all positioned on my sticky mat. Inside here, I have my double background grip mat. So for those of you that love the grip mat idea, at Gina K Designs, we have our grip mats are dual purpose. On one side, it's a grip mat that fits beautifully inside your Misti. On the other side, there are 2 photopolymer background stamps. We have 2 different options for this grip mat. We have it's called double background grip mat 1 and double background grip mat 2. So each one has 2 different background stamp designs. All photopolymer all grip mats are made with photopolymer, and all high quality stamps are made with photopolymer. So when we were designing our grip mat, I thought, why not give people more bang for their buck and be able to have one that does both? It's the perfect height to fit into your Misti or other stamping platform for clear stamps. And it's also great for background stamping. So it's perfect size for an A2 panel. All right, and then the other thing is, if you're using your sticky mat, although your sticky mat will fit on top of the Misti mat, it can shift around a little bit in there because the back of sticky mats are smooth. But this sticky mat can fit onto the grip mat, and then it's not going anywhere. It is completely stuck on there. It's not going anywhere because the back of our grip mat is a plasticky finish, and so it's going to stick to the grip mat. So that's a great way to use your sticky mat in your Misti and not have anything shift around. Okay, so let me grab an acrylic block here. We're going to go old school. I know it's in here, and I am going to use the Misti, but for some of the stamping, I'm just going to use an acrylic block because it's easier. Okay, so I'm going to use my black ink pad. This is the Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink. I like this ink for this kind of stamping because it dries super quick. There's very little chance that I'm going to mess something up. And it's also really good with Copic markers, and it's great with Gamsol and colored pencils. If you like doing watercolor, then I would suggest our amalgam ink. However, our amalgam ink dries just a little bit more slowly. So if you're not doing any watercolor techniques, I would go with the Black Onyx dye ink. One thing you're going to notice about this stamp set is when you open the package, I didn't even have to prep these stamps. That's how well they stamp. They are made so well. So Heidi, kudos to you. This is such a high quality product. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this right here in this block, like that. Okay, now let me get my tidy towel because I want to clean this. So this is the tidy towel, and I know a lot of my viewers already know what these products are, but I know we get a lot of new eyes on Gina K Designs during STAMPtember, new customers, new people who will subscribe to the channel, and they want to know what we're using. So I know a lot of people that watch my channel are probably helping other people in the chat, which is so wonderful and kind. But if you hear me, talking about things that I'm using, and you're like, Gina, we know that. We've been watching you for 15 years. Bear with me because I want to make sure everybody understands what we're using. So I'm going to get 2 Post-it notes here, and I'm going to block off this box right here because I'm going to do some stamping outside the box, literally. And I'm going to do 4 different stampings here. So I'm using one of the other snowflakes, and I'm going to do one here. Now, I want you to notice when I stamp clear stamps, I don't do this. I don't do this. Can you see that, it's a little rough? It's not perfectly stamped. You will notice that I actually hold the stamp down in place for a minute. With photopolymer clear stamps, and this has nothing to do with STAMPtember, but with photopolymer clear stamps, if you hold it down for a second, you allow more of the ink to transfer onto the paper. So if you tend to have a lot of trouble with spotty or broken up images, you might just be stamping too fast. So give that stamp a second to actually transfer the ink from the stamp to the cardstock, and you're going to get those really good crisp images. So that's one little tip that might help my long-time stampers who've been stamping forever. It's always nice if you could take one little tip that maybe you hadn't thought of or you hadn't heard before, and it'll help you get some better stamping. Okay, so now we've got those 4 stamped in there. Now we're going to move to this box. So I'm going to block things off here. Let's use this one. Okay. Yes, you guys are going to love the Polyglaze and what you see. And I told Heidi, hey, this isn't going to be an hour live. We might go a little long today because I do have stuff that I want to share and I do have stuff that I want to teach. So she was like, that's fine. Whatever works for you. She's so easygoing, and I appreciate you, Heidi. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one of these here. Okay, and I'm going to stamp one of them over here. Okay. Now we're just going to let that be enough for that box. I could have stamped this one better. I feel like I rushed it a little, but it's okay. Now here's one of the tricks that I want to teach you, okay? So we're definitely going to have to mask off here. I want to do the big Christmas ball down here in this one. So I'm just going to be really proactive and almost like I'm draping for surgery. I really want to isolate this box and get everything else covered up. Then I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to just put it right here like this, because I just want a little bit of that ball right in here. Now I'm going to use my Misti for this, just in case I don't get a great impression, because it's a big stamp. But the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of Masking Magic. This is the 1/2-inch size strips. I'm going to take one of the 1/2-inch size strips, and I am going to block off right here. I don't want any of this Christmas ball right here to get ink on it. Okay? Just going to block that off. I'm not worried about up here because that's not going to fit in the box. Okay? Now I'm going to leave that on there, and I'm going to ink this up. Get it nice and inky. And then I'm going to pull that off, and now I can stamp that. And this Christmas ball didn't get any ink on it. Okay, now if I want to stamp it a second time to get it a little bit darker, once again, I'm going to block that off with a little bit of Masking Magic. The other thing that's nice about Masking Magic is you don't have to cut it. You can just tear it. It tears really easily. Okay, and now I have to remember to pull that off, and I can give it a second stamping. Okay, so now I've got that beautiful Christmas ball right there. Now I want to use the smaller Christmas ball on this side. So once again, I'm going to block everything off on this side and on the top here and on the bottom here. If you guys hear a beeping, that's my pump. For those of you that know me, you know I'm a diabetic, and my pump goes off every once in a while. There's nothing wrong. It just wants me to put it in a different mode. So I'm going to do that now real quick, so it's all good. All right, so now I'm going to clean this off. Okay, and make sure that that's nice and clean. Now, I want to make sure it's dry. I'm going to put one Christmas ball right here, like this. Okay. Like that. And we're going to pick that up. Now we're going to mask off this. So again, let me grab the 1/2-inch Masking Magic strips. Now, one thing that I learned last night when I was making my card is just make sure that you cover the whole strip of this ornament over here. And then we're going to block this off like that. Now you can see that this is all protected in here, right? So now we're going to go ahead and ink this one up. And then we're going to remove the Masking Magic. And now I'm going to stamp that. Okay. Looking good. Now I want to do another one. So I actually want that small ball to be in 2 different spots. So now I can pick it up and I can move it. And I just want like a corner of it to come in here. I'm not super worried about anything else. Just want a little corner of that to come in. But again, I am going to block this off because I don't want to take a chance of anything getting onto that block, that box there. So I don't care if I get ink on here. I don't care if I get ink up here. It's on a Post-it note. We're good. But I don't want anything. I don't want that little part of it right there to get onto this box. So I just masked it off again. And I'm going to add a little bit of black ink. And then I'm going to stamp it. And that's just giving me that little corner peeking in. Okay? So now let's do the peel and reveal and see what these look like. Now right now it looks kind of like a hot mess, but that's okay. You know, stuff always looks terrible before it looks great. At least that's in my experience, that when you do these kinds of techniques, they always look awful before you really see the magic. Let me put this back so I don't throw that stamp away. Okay, so I'm going to start to peel and reveal. You can see what's happening here. All of these beautiful images. Isn't this fun?
I love the peel and reveal. Slowly.
Okay, look at that. Isn't that awesome? See how everything is all compartmentalized in those boxes because of the Masking Magic? And then, you can see here, all I did was stamp the Merry and Bright, and I cut it out using the coordinating die. Now for these little parts right here, I used a tiny set called Spring Friends. It's a little 4x4 stamp set, and we did check last night. Simon Says Stamp does carry this. And I just added those little postage elements to make it look more like a postage card. But that is how easy it is to do those masking techniques and create a fun little postage card with this beautiful new Shimmering Christmas stamp and die bundle. What do you think, Heidi?
I love it.
All right. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But I also love what's to come because, you've already done it.
Yes. I have to show them. So I added embellishments. We have all kinds of embellishments at Gina K Designs. I added some of our little clear sequins on here, the crystal clear sequins. We also have our holographic stars, which are amazing, and I'm going to add those to my next card. We have our mini metallic pearls are amazing. I'm going to show you some card samples with some of those as well. But that's how I created that little bit of extra shimmer there. Now, if you don't want sequins on here, you can use things like... what is the glitter stuff, Heidi, that you guys carry? Is it stickles?
Yeah, there's stickles.
Yeah, you can use stickles, and you can add stickles dots onto your cards. There are so many different things you can add. Loose glitter. Just check out Simon Says Stamp's embellishments. Type in embellishments and see all the different embellishments that you can get over there, because they've got... They literally have a million different choices over there. Well, not literally a million, but it feels like a million because you're scrolling forever. And I go over there and look and I want them all. So that is how you would add a little bit of shine. Now I'm going to show you a couple other cards that I made, because direct stamping with this stamp set, direct stamping in black or in color, is you can make so many different kinds of cards. So here's another card that I made using the same stamp set, but in this case, I stamped in color. So I used Turquoise Sea, Lucky Clover, Wild Wisteria, and Bubblegum Pink. And I just randomly stamped all over the cardstock and created just a background paper. So you can see how simple this card is in bright color. And then what I did is I used our Master Layouts 20, which is this big, thick frame that is designed for our A2 cards. I also used our Master Layouts 2 die set for this black panel, and then I used the Christmas Wishes, and I did that in black to give it a little pop and also to accent that thin black layer. So you can see direct stamping with this stamp set is fantastic. So if you're just a stamper and you don't foil, I want to make sure that you can see all of the beautiful cards that you can make with just stamps. I have another one to show you here. So last night I told Heidi that we had so much fun at our card class that we did. When did we do that card class, Heidi?
May.
Okay, so back in May, Heidi and I did a card class at Simon Says Stamp, and we did a little rainbow of flowers going across. So I decided to mimic that layout and do a little rainbow of snowflakes going across. So I did add the Merry and Bright Polyglaze, which is a real shiny gold, and then I used our shiny gold metallic pearls. So these come in a 3-pack. Well, it comes in a pack of 3 colors. It's a big pack of metallic pearls. They come in black, silver, and gold, and they are just beautiful for your cards, and they're mini. So I think that that is just so fun, because those little mini 3mm anything are so cute. And I used my autumn my Harvest Flourish, it's called, stencil, just to do a little grounding back there. And I used the soft stone ink, and I matched the soft stone cardstock to it. But then everything else is gold. So it's kind of like the silver and gold together. Looks really pretty. You can also do it with silver metallic cardstock or gold metallic cardstock, which I know Simon Says Stamp has some very beautiful options for silvers and gold on their website. We don't have silver or gold cardstock anymore. So if you're over on Simon's website getting your STAMPtember set, make sure you grab some silver and gold. I found an old piece of gold that I used for one of my cards, but we don't have it anymore. And then I use the Polyglaze here to make the greeting, just to add a little bit more sparkle and shine. So here are 3 different card ideas just using simple stamping. Now, I also want to remind you, before we get into the Polyglaze and I start talking about Polyglaze, that Polyglaze isn't the only way to add sparkle and shine to your cards. You can also use watermark ink, like a Versamark ink, or the Gina K Designs Embossing and Watermark ink, and you can use gold or silver or copper embossing powder, and you can get a beautiful look. Embossing powder will give you a more muted look, almost like an antiqued look. So I made a card here using embossing powder, and I want to show you, look at the shine you get from that. It's a beautiful shine, but it's more muted, more antiqued looking. And again, I used the Christmas balls here. I stamped 2 of them, these 2. And then I added a 3rd one here, and then I stamped the 2 of them again down a little bit further, just so that they're all hanging at different lengths. Very easy to do. You can do it in your Misti. And when I'm using embossing powder and I'm doing lots of different stampings, I actually do one at a time. So I stamped this one first, and then I embossed it with gold. This way I could see exactly what was going on. Then I did this one, and I embossed it in gold. And then I did this one, and I embossed it in gold. And I actually used the Master Layouts 14 die set, has a larger plain stitched panel in it too. I used that die set to make that stitched panel on that red velvet cardstock. And then for the gold panel behind it, I used our old gold cardstock, which we don't have anymore, so you'll have to find a beautiful substitute over at Simon Says Stamp. But I used that with Master Layouts 1. So you can see the difference. Master Layouts 1 creates a smaller border around the edge. That's the cardstock or the card-based border. Master Layouts 2 will give you a larger border. That's what this black layer is from. Master Layouts, this is Master Layouts 18, gives you the larger border because it's paired up with Master Layouts 2. So if you're really interested in more Master Layouts information too, I highly encourage you to check out our website, our YouTube channel, and watch some of those videos. This was also done with Master Layouts 2. So again, you get the wide border when you're using Master Layouts 2. So, and of course, all of this, if you don't have Master Layouts, as soon as you get your STAMPtember set, you can start making these. Just cut them with your paper cutter or use other dies that you have already from Simon Says Stamp or other dies that you're getting at Simon Says Stamp to do your die cutting. So lots of fun ways to use just stamping ink and maybe a little bit of embossing powder. But now I want to get to the Polyglaze, because that Polyglaze add-on is a really, really fun add-on, and it's a limited edition. It's not going to be here after STAMPtember is over. Is that right, Heidi?
That's correct. It's this Polyglaze set. Remember the one that was stuck in my bag because I was so nervous? So these are the 10 Polyglaze sheets that Gina has put together for STAMPtember exclusive. And sorry, I'm taking over your
Not at
screen
all.
here. I know you're going to be showcasing these already glazed or foiled.
Yep, we're going to foil. I'm going to show them how to do it too. I want them to see how to do it.
Okay. So these are the 10 Polyglazes, and they are available. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chats talking about it, so I wanted to pay a little extra attention to it.
Yeah.
They are available as add-ons, so you could add on extra packs of Polyglaze if you're one of those makers that likes to mass produce your holiday cards. This set, the stamps, the dies, and the Polyglaze are absolutely perfect for that. And she named them Shimmering, and you're going to see why. The camera is going to catch the most beautiful dancing lights. So
Yeah.
I'll step out, Gina, so you can show them that.
Okay, and let me have those Polyglaze sheets again, because I want to show you one set of Polyglaze sheets. If you make a very simple layout, and the thing about this is, the Polyglaze, you don't need a lot of shimmer to make the card spectacular. But look what you have here. Let's say you're going to make a tree card. You have enough to make, let me pull them all out here. Okay, you have enough to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tree cards. You have enough to make 8 ornament cards. This is just one pack of Polyglaze. So that's 16 Christmas cards. Then if you wanted to do something fun with the snowflakes and polyglaze those and cut them out with the dies and do a similar card like this, except pop up some polyglazed foiled snowflakes in there, you have tons of those. And then look at all of the greetings that you have. So even if you're making other kinds of cards, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 greetings of foil that you can add to any cards that you make. So you can get a minimum of 24 polyglazed cards, and you can get 16 cards with the big Christmas balls or the big tree. So lots of different things. Remember, if you like this layout, do it with polyglaze. There's all kinds of the different snowflakes that can be cut out and foiled. So it's a ton of polyglaze just in one pack. But I know a lot of us hoard our polyglaze because we don't want to run out. So I would highly suggest that if you love polyglaze, that you add an extra pack or two, because don't miss out on it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Of course, you can always stamp the stamps. You can always use embossing powder to get sparkle and shine. But if you love polyglaze, pick up a couple extras. You'll be glad that you did. And I make a lot of cards for Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but I make a lot. All right, so this is the fuse foiling system. This is our foiling machine. It's not an expensive machine. It's $69.95. And it is made by the same manufacturer that makes the mink machine. So we had told them that we wanted a mink, and they said, well, we can't make a mink because that is a registered trademark, but we can make the same exact machine, but you can choose a different casing for it, and then you can call it what you want. So I called mine the Fuse. I have to be completely transparent because there are many of you that have a mink, and it's a great machine. But I also wanted to make sure for those of you that were debating between the Fuse and the mink that you're going to get the same quality either way, but the Fuse is definitely a more economical machine. Okay, now there's a button on the back where you can turn it on, and then there are 6 different heat settings. 0, if you turn it to 0, that's just for cold laminating. So let's say you have a newspaper clipping and you want to laminate it, or you want to laminate some kind of identification card. You can use regular laminating pouches, cold laminating pouches, and you can use it just to add pressure. You can use it just for if you wanted to add pressure to different adhesives, or if you use rub-ons and you wanted to add pressure to the rub-ons, but you don't want to add heat. This is just a cold setting. You can see it's already turned green because it's cold already, right? But it's got different heat settings depending on what you are actually foiling. So if you are foiling something like vellum or really lightweight copy paper, like super lightweight or lightweight pattern papers, you could try setting 1, and that will give you just a little bit of heat. If you're going to a little bit of a thicker vellum, you could go to setting 2, which will give you a little bit more heat, and it's not going to curl your vellum as much. If you're using Polyglaze sheets or toner sheets, and you've seen toner sheets at lots of other companies, they are the ones that are printed with black toner. You're going to use setting 3. Polyglaze also uses setting 3. And then setting 4 would be for a heavyweight cardstock that maybe like some of the other brands might print their toner sheets on a heavier cardstock than we do. I would bump up to 4 because you might need a little more heat because it's got 2 rollers in there, hot on both the bottom and the top. Might take it a little bit more heat to get through the thickness from the bottom. And then 5 would be for real lightweight chipboard or really heavy cardstock, okay? Now, what is Polyglaze? So Polyglaze is different than toner sheets because Polyglaze is printed with a gray ink, just so that you can see it, a very, very light gray ink. It's almost like stamping with no line coloring ink. We wanted to make sure, because I can't see it if it's just polyglazed. It's hard for me to see. So we asked if there could be a layer of just gray ink under there so we could see it. And then it is coated with a polyglaze material. It's a glazy material that will grab foil. And the reason why we did this and we came up with this is because toner sheets, although they can be beautiful, they can be a little persnickety at times. And sometimes, depending on the foil, depending on the cardstock that it's printed on, depending on a whole bunch of other things, what laminator you're using, they can leave black spots behind. So that really bothered me all the time. It just bothered me that, one would be great and one would have some black spotting. Polyglaze, you'll never get black spotting because there's no black. So it always looks perfect every time. Now, you can see this is ready. We've got like an instant warm up. It warms up in like 2 to 3 minutes, but I'm just going to put this aside for a second because I want to show you some other things that you can do with Polyglaze. Now, we've got some really fun Polyglaze designs. My favorite, by far, in our whole collection is this one right here. So if you're thinking about adding any Polyglaze to your order today, pick up some of our flurries. Because flurries are good year-round. They're good for anything. They're actually not snowflakes. They're little stars and dots. So they're great for birthdays. They're great for celebrations. They're great for if you just want that spatter-looking background, but you want it to be in foil. So grab some flurries because I'm going to use this one today. But I do have a little bit of a busier one that I want to show you here. This is our winter snow. So I want to show you if you have Polyglaze because you bought it at one time and you don't foil and you're like, well, what am I going to do with this? I want to show you a really fun technique that you can do with Polyglaze that you may not know. So I am going to find a dark brush here. This is my In the Navy blending brush. And I want to find my In the Navy ink. Here it is. In the Navy. Here we go. So I am going to, let me see, where is my mat? Let me pull that out here. So I'm going to lay this down onto my mat just to keep it in place. Polyglaze, because of its nature, because it's a glazy material, it's very similar to embossing, like clear embossing powder, although clear embossing powder doesn't work like this. But it does the same kind of resist. So if you have a sheet of Polyglaze and you're not interested in adding foil, but you want a nice soft background, you can actually use the Polyglaze sheet as an emboss resist piece. What was the set that Gina used to add postage? Oh, the set that I used for the postage was called Spring Friends. So if anybody is seeing that question, it's called Spring Friends. Okay, so now I am going to take this blending brush and I'm going to just start ink blending over the background. Now can you see? These snowflakes are still shining through. Now they may look a little bit blue right now because the ink is resting on top of the Polyglaze, but we are going to actually rub that off, and I'll show you in just a second. So I'm going to continue to just ink blend on here. And you can do this with multiple colors, so you could do blues and purples and greens together, which would be beautiful for a winter background. So something like this, maybe you have a cute little snowman set and you want to do a little snowy scene. And you don't want this crazy foiled background because the snowmen aren't foiled. And sometimes if just the background is foiled and nothing in the front is foiled, the background will take over. You can take this same Polyglaze and you can create a really soft background. Now, when I get a paper towel here, you're going to see these are going to start to look more white. I just have a paper towel and I'm going to start rubbing. Can you see how this is kind of popping out more? I'm rubbing all of the ink that is sitting on top of that Polyglaze design. You can see it coming off here. And that is just kind of the way you would rub ink off of an emboss resist before you start using it. But the fun thing about this is because the Polyglaze ink underneath is a very pale gray, you get a more subdued look. It's not so stark. And it also has a sheen to it, which I think you can see up at the top there, right in this area. Kind of focus your eye in here. You can see that sheen that you get to it. So it's not as glossy as embossing powder, but it's just super soft and it has that little sheen. And now you can do your snowman, or you can do whatever cute little things, or beautiful poinsettias that you stamp and stuff like that.
I absolutely love Polyglaze for this technique. It reminds me, did you guys do those little book fairs in school when you were young? My favorite thing at the book fair every year was this magic reveal ink, and Gina's Polyglaze reminds me of that. So just like she just
like that.
ink blended.
Yeah.
It's really magical that you just like revealed the flurries.
Yeah, isn't that so fun? And you know, with a design like this, let's say you're crafting with some friends. You don't have to haul your embossing gun. You don't have to haul your embossing powder. You don't have to get all that all over the place. You can just get the look of emboss resist with that nice little sheen behind it. And the Polyglaze, we have so many different background designs. We have beautiful ones for hearts for Valentine's Day. We have all kinds of wintry ones. We have autumn ones with leaves and things like that. So check out the different designs because you'll be surprised how this, I'm calling it emboss resist, but it's Polyglaze resist. And you can also foil on top of this if you wanted to. So you could also, create sparkle and shine on top of this to add sparkle. But I definitely wanted to show you this technique because I think it's really fun. And it might be a great way for you to try Polyglaze for other things other than foiling.
And you can foil that after you ink it?
Yep, you can foil it after you ink it. Absolutely. I mean, we can do that. I can show you. The thing about foiling it after you ink it is you just want to make sure that you really have all of the ink off of there. You can see there's a little bit left. You just want to have it all off of there. And then let's foil it. Why not? We've got time. Right, Heidi?
Yes.
We've got time to show it. All right, so I'm going to show you one of my favorite foils is the silver sequins. It is such a cool foil, silver sequins. On thicker images, you really see the sequin design, and on thinner images, you just get that glimmer, that glittery look. So let me find one more thing here. Tom, can you go into my office? And in the Calyx unit, there are some Swiffer dusters. Will you please get me a Swiffer duster? I left my Swiffer duster at home, but I'm gonna take a shot. Oh, Heidi found one. Never mind. Heidi found one. Here it is. Okay, so the Swiffer duster is a way to make sure that there's no dust on top of the project and also no dust on your foil. If you don't have Swiffer dusters where you live, you can use any anti-static cloth, okay? You want to just make sure that you remove the dust. Whatever you dust with, I know I don't dust, so I use so many household cleaning things like bleach and Swiffer dusters and all kinds of things for stamping techniques, but I don't use them for cleaning. Okay, so this way there's no dust in between your Polyglaze sheet and the foil, and you're going to get the best impression. Now, when you pick up your Fuse foiling system, or for those of you that have a Mink, it comes with this carrier sheet. You want to make sure that you use the carrier sheet that comes with it, or ThermoWeb also makes silicone-lined parchment paper carrier sheets. You don't want to use just plain parchment. We used to use that, but the thing is that it'll work, but the silicone lining conducts heat very evenly and more of it, which is why a lot of people think that these work better than just plain parchment paper. Well, because these are like a silicone-y kind of plastic. They're a plastic, but they don't melt in the heat. And it conducts a lot of heat. So if you don't have those, maybe you're using a regular laminator for this, make sure you pick up some of those, the ThermoWeb carrier sheets. They work really great. All right, now I've got the fold here on this side, and I've got my foil pretty side up on top of my Polyglaze sheet. And now I'm going to send this through the machine. And once the machine grabs it, I can let it go through. Now, what is happening right now is that Polyglaze is getting heated up and it's melting. And then the foil is sticking to that melted Polyglaze. And then as it comes out the other side of the machine, it starts to cool. And everywhere that there's Polyglaze on this sheet, the foil will adhere to. Where there's no Polyglaze, which is the plain parts, right? The parts of the sheet that are just white, you don't have any foil. All right. So we're going to give that just a second to cool. You can see how nicely that foiled there. We're going to give it a second to cool. And Swiffer Sweeper Dry Cloths. Thank you, Pamela. That's what they're called. Swiffer Sweeper Dry Cloths. Come on, there's probably some in the very back of a cabinet over your washer and dryer or something. All right, and then once it cools, then you can pull that off and look at that sparkle and shine. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to rub this over here because you can see that some of it stuck to parts of the design that I didn't want it, and it didn't really stick to it. It just peeled away. So now you can see, look at all that detail. Woo! Isn't that gorgeous? And look at the glimmer in that holographic look. Isn't that gorgeous? So yes, that shows you that you can use it after inking on top. The reason why a lot of the foil came off is because I inked on top, and my ink, even though it's dry to the touch, is probably not thoroughly dry. So that moisture pulled some of it off. But it's not going to stick because it's only going to stick to the Polyglaze. But isn't that pretty?
mean, that is gorgeous.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I mean, imagine making tags like this. Just cutting a tag out of that and putting a to and from. I mean, that would be so beautiful.
Would you cut it now that it's all finished? Would you then cut the tag, or would you cut the tag and then foil it?
Yes. When it comes to foiling, I like to die cut after I'm done foiling.
Yeah.
And the reason is because sometimes your dies will put little dents into your project, ever so slightly. Sometimes you can't even see them with your eye. But the foil can't seep down into the dents. So then you'll have some missing spots, where if you do this first and then you die cut it, you might use a tag that has stitching going around. That foil would never be able to sink into the design where the stitching is. So do your foiling first and then chop it up any way that you want. All right, you're going to need to get me another Swiffer because I'm actually dusting here.
Can I do my thing I love to do? I love emojis.
Yes.
Show Gina some snowflake emojis or some heart emojis in your chat so you could give her some positive feedback. Right? Seriously, I love to emoji stuff. And then all of a sudden you're going to see the chat is going to... So hopefully you guys love this shimmering as much as I do, especially these silver sequins.
Everybody's so kind. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Well, that is the silver sequins, what that looks like. And I have a whole card project here that I used silver sequins on that I have to show you. So I used silver sequins on this tree. Look at that. So what I did here for this card, oh, look at all the snowflakes and hearts in the chat. Thank you, guys. That's so cute. So what I did with this is I stamped this tree, and I polyglazed this tree. I used the Polyglaze design, and I used the silver sequins, and I also used silver sequins on the Merry and Bright. Then I used the Polyglaze flurries, the one that I told you that every single person needs. This one right here, you have to have this if you're going to do foiling of any kind. I cut that out using our Master Layouts 18 die set. That is the A2 size thick frame. So you've got all that little sparkle and shine back there. And then I just mounted it onto that piece of black cardstock to give the tree some separation. And look how easy that is to do. That's so easy. I'll tell you, Heidi was a genius, because when I was making this card the other night, she's like, Gina, cut out another Merry and Bright and just offset it a little bit back there so that there's some separation between the greeting and the tree. And that really made a difference. So kudos, Heidi. I love that idea.
Yay!
And then I used our mini black, gold, and silver pearls to just embellish this tree and to create a little bit more sparkle and shine, like there wasn't enough, right? But that is just amazing. I love how easy that was. This card took hardly any time at all. And that's another thing I like about adding the Polyglaze feature, is when you're making cards for the holidays, and maybe you have 100 people on your card making list, you need some cards in there that are faster to mass produce. And Polyglaze makes it look like it took forever, but it's so easy. Now, I peeled off this tree when I peeled the foil off, and I actually used that extra piece to make a reverse image. So I'm going to show you how to do that, because I think that's really important, to show you how to use the reverse image. So I'm going to get that tree image. Let's find it here in the Polyglaze. Heidi, I'm cutting up your Polyglaze sheets.
No problem at all, Gina. They got your name on them.
All right. So although I say die cut first, I will tell you to not fussy cut, but just cut the design out that you want. All right, just cut it out and get it off of here, because, and the reason why I say that is because you might want to do this one in silver, this in gold, this in red, that in blue. There's so many different foil colors out there. And one thing that you do have to know is the type of foil that you're using for this. So this is called toner foil. This is not hot foil. So for those of you that have the glimmer system, that is a different kind of foil than this. If you use that hot foil through your laminator, you're just going to get a solid foil. It's going to just be a solid piece of foil. Now, that might be good for some of you who are looking to just do a solid piece of foil and then do a die-cut word out of it. It'll just foil right onto your regular cardstock, but it'll be solid, so you won't see any of the design. You need to use what is called toner foil or textile foil. It's also polyglaze foil. So all of the Gina K Designs fancy foils are toner foils. All of the ThermoWeb foils in the tubes, the deco foil, are toner foil. Make sure, whatever foil you're using, that the label doesn't say hot foil. Even though this is foil and this is heat, we don't want to use hot foil, so just keep that in mind. All right, so I am going to get a piece of this silver sequins here, and I am going to, I can cut around it to make it smaller, and maybe I'll do that because I could save this for a greeting. So I like to just position it to where I need it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this with my dust cloth, my Swiffer duster, and then I'm going to go ahead and wipe the back of the foil. And then here's the front of the foil, pretty side up. I'm going to put that into my carrier sheet, and then I'm going to send it through. Come on over here, Heidi. Okay. So I'm going to send it through.
I'm over there typing in the chat too while you're talking.
So while that goes through, is there any information you need to let anybody know or anything?
I feel like this is a loaded question.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to find some toner sheets.
Okay.
We could do the word of the day, too.
Oh, Tom. So Tom took us out to this restaurant that had the best baked potatoes. I think they grew the potatoes in the yard or something. It was really, there were woods all surrounding. I mean, it was fabulous. Like, I could have eaten baked potatoes for days. So I don't know if this is what you want me to talk about, Gina, but, and Tom and Gina came up with the word of the day.
Well, it was a product of one of those heated creative sessions that these two have. I just watch and eat. And
when Heidi and I get together, it's nonstop, right?
Yeah, nonstop. And so go ahead. Do you want to describe it?
No, I think
when you drive up to a restaurant,
okay,
I'll say it.
All right.
When you drive up to a restaurant, how do you know it's going to be good?
All right, we'll have Tom.
You're in the parking lot, and what happens, Tom?
And if you smell the food in the parking lot, and it is amazing, that is an example of a sensational restaurant. Sensational.
And that came about because when we pulled up to the restaurant, Heidi said, "Oh, it smells so good already," and we're just in the parking lot. That was a sensational restaurant. That was so fun.
Thank you, Tom. So Tom was making notes. Go for the word of the day on his phone,
yeah,
so we don't forget.
That is a sensational restaurant. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to peel this off, and you can see the beautiful tree, right? And then that I can die cut with a die. But if you pick up some toner card fronts, these are the Decofoil toner card fronts, then you can use this piece that's left behind to create a second tree. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Alrighty. So I'm going to take one of these toner card fronts, and then I'm going to trim this down so it fits a little bit better. Okay, so let's do this. And remember, you can use these little extra pieces of toner paper to just foil completely and die cut a word. die cut, little snowflakes, whatever you want out of there. But I want to just trim this down because I don't like to waste too much, and these little strips will make great other projects. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing. You're going to Swiffer dust the front of the toner paper. You're going to Swiffer the back of your piece that you peeled away with the design on it. And now you're going to put these together. And you want to make sure that your toner paper is completely covered, because toner paper, this paper, is not just black cardstock. It is paper that is coated with industrial grade black toner. It's got several coats of it on there, so it's very thick. It is, it's meant to grab foil. But if it's sticking outside like this of your carrier sheet, it's going to melt, and then it's going to melt onto your carrier sheet. So make sure your foil design completely covers it. And then you're going to stick that into your carrier sheet like that, and you're going to send that through. And then I'm going to show you, because I already die cut one. I'm not going to die cut one because I have one more card that I want to make for you guys today. And then I have some more designs to show you. This tree is really something, isn't it? I mean, that is beautiful. I love the design. And you could do this same exact card. Remember, if you don't want to get into the foiling, you could do this same exact look by using a background stamp and embossing it with silver embossing powder, and then use the stamp that comes in the Stamp and Die bundle, Stamp and Die or Stamp Die and Polyglaze bundle, and then do it with silver embossing powder. And you can get the same kind of look. Yep, here it is. The same kind of look just by using that stamp and that greeting, and create the same thing. So even though I'm showing you a lot of foiling stuff right now, this doesn't knock anybody out of the picture to make these cards if you're not a foiling fan. You can do the same kind of look with embossing powder. Okay, so once that's cool, we can pull this away and look at that. Look at that.
I mean, if they're not a foiling fan, this might convert.
I agree. I mean, it's hard not to see this and not want to give it a try, especially considering how inexpensive this type of foiling is. I mean, you can get a pack of Polyglaze sheets that has 10 sheets in it for, what are they, like
the $9.95 for the 10-pack.
For the big one, but I think these like small
$6.95.
backgrounds are only $6.95. I mean, if you're like, maybe you've only ever seen hot foiling and you're thinking, okay, well, I don't want to buy the dies and I don't want to buy a machine and, it's out of my budget. This type of foiling is very much in your budget because you can make 10 cards out of this for $6.95. And if you get sick of the design, you don't feel guilty. Oh my gosh, I spent all this money for one design. Just pick a different design. Now your next design, you've got 10 sheets of the snowflakes. This one's called Winter or Blanket of Snow. This one I love. This one's called Winter Snow. So there's so many options out there. Okay.
There were a lot of people in the chat that were asking about the dies.
Okay.
So these are the STAMPtember Gina dies, and all of our Simon Says Stamp and the Gina K Design dies are detabbed.
Yes, they are.
So now, going forward,
Yes.
from now on, they are detabbed, which is a huge convenience. I wanted to hand you that so you could use it if you wanted.
Yep.
It's a huge convenience, and everybody in the chat was talking about it and excited about it, and they love that yours are all detabbed, Gina.
Yes, detabbing. I mean, we want to open our packages and get at it right away, right? We don't want to spend time with tools. So only crafting tools. So you could see the die fits perfectly over the Polyglaze. And then here is what it looks like when it's cut out. So I cut this one out a little bit earlier. And I mean, you could easily sub that out. So now what I'm trying to explain to you is I told you that there were 8 trees in that pack. But out of those 8 trees, you can use the positive piece to cut out, and then you can use the leftover foil to create a second design on toner paper and cut those out. Now those 8 trees become 16 trees. Those 8 Christmas ball images become 16 images. And now your 16 cards turns into 32 cards. So one pack of Polyglaze gets you so many different options, and beautiful options at that. Okay, so I want to show you that card. Now I want to show you one more card with this tree, and then we're going to move into polyglazing the Christmas balls, because they are pretty spectacular. Now I know a lot of my friends out there are really getting into the bigger cards. So this is an A2 card, right? I'll zoom in just a little bit here. This is an A2 card. Now, I always tell people this, and my regulars, I call them my repeat offenders who watch my live every week. They're my repeat offenders. They know that my mom, God rest her soul, when she was alive, she equated the size of the card to the amount of love. So when I gave her an A2 card, she said, well, it's a really pretty card, but I wish it was bigger. Well, I hear from a lot of people out there that they really do enjoy making bigger cards, especially for Christmas. They want to write a message. They want everybody in the family to sign it. They want to include a gift card in it. They just want something a little bigger. So we have two master layout sets that coordinate with 5x7 cards. So 5x7 are the biggest cards that I do. And Master Layouts 8 and Master Layouts 20 are the two master layout sets that make beautiful 5x7 cards. I used both of them for this card. So here is a bigger card. Look how big that is. And I did this with just our 14 karat gold. And I, instead of using my traditional, signature Gina K Designs black layer, I decided to cut a red velvet layer and put this gold tree up with red behind it. And I think that is such a festive card. And I used a whole mix of embellishments here. I used some of our iridescent dots. I used some of our mini black, gold, and silver pearls on this. So again, visit Simon Says Stamp and get yourself a wide array of different beautiful embellishments that you can use on this tree, because it really jazzes it up like it's not jazzed up enough, right? And then I use the Christmas wishes, and I kind of like the way that sits there. It almost looks like the trunk of the tree. It just it carries the tree really well. You could do that with the Merry and Bright. You can also do that with the Merry Christmas greeting that's in there. But this one is so much fun, and it's that big 5x7 card, a card my mother would have loved. And I know a lot of our European friends and our friends in the UK and also our Canadian friends love the bigger cards. It's more their style. So I just wanted to show you, because these designs in this stamp set are so big, that you can make these beautiful, you can make these beautiful A2 size cards, but they also carry into your big cards, like your 5x7s. Now, the most popular size I'm learning from my European friends and my UK friends is an A6 card. And that's what I'm going to make next. And then after I'm done the card, I'll lay a 5x7, an A6, and an A2 out for you guys so you can see the difference and you can decide what you like better. But I wanted to show you two cards with the tree, because come on, I mean, that tree. And that would be gorgeous on a big tag, too. Imagine just that on a tag, hanging on a bottle of wine that you're bringing to somebody's house as a hostess gift for a Christmas party. So many ways to use these. This could be a tag by itself, it's so big. Just pop a hole in the center of the star with a hole punch, and then write your information on the back, your to and from and all of that. That would be a gorgeous tag all by itself. Just pop your greeting right onto the tree and use it just as a tag. I know I ran out of time last night because I was like, Heidi, I want to make like 10 more cards. And she's like, I know, but we do have to get up early. So it is time. Okay. So now we're going to make a card using the gold. So I think I'm going to do, let me see what I have here. I think I'm going to do just the 14 karat, just the plain simple gold. And then I'm also going to use this is our glimmering gold. Look at that. And then here is our 14 karat, which is a plain gold. These two work so nicely together. And I'm going to show you an A2 size card of what I'm kind of going to make today. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So here's a card I made using the plain gold, the 14 karat, and also the glimmering gold for the flurries background. Now when I turn it, you're going to see the difference. So You see that? Can you see that sparkle? Let me show you. Let's see. Maybe you can't see it here. I think it might be better for me to show it to you separately. I think this is blocking a lot of it. But it's got, in here, it's got a little bit of glitter in it. I don't know if you can see that. Can they see that? I think they can, because it's glittering a little bit more in here, but it's shining more here. So this is shiny and glittery. All right. So we're going to make a full A6 card. So I'll tell you all the measurements and everything as we go along. All right. So I am going to start with the balls. Let me get some balls here. Now here I used this Christmas ball, the big one, and I used 2 of the small ones. And you can definitely do that. You can break them up. You don't have to do them all together. And thank goodness, can I just do a shout out to Sherry Carroll? Because I sent the die designs to Sherry, and then Sherry had the thought, the wherewithal to separate, even though on the stamp set they're grouped together as one stamp. For die cutting, she had the wherewithal to separate these into 2 separate dies. And what's great about that is they're very easy to line up once you stamp them and you want, but it allows you to move them around. It allows you to use 2 small ones. It allows you to use 2 large ones. This is a brilliant idea. So, woohoo, Sherry Carroll. I love that. Did Sherry design these dies? I think she did. Yes. Okay. All right. So, I mean, I didn't know if you did, Heidi. But I know that Sherry has done our dies in the past for us for our STAMPtember. Okay, so I am going to cut this out here. All right. Now I can foil this all at once. And I think I will. I think I'll do 2 of them here. And then I can die cut them later if I, don't want to use them right away. So I'm just going to do 2 of them. But remember, you can always cut right along there and save that for later. So if I wanted to do this one in silver and later I wanted to do this one in radiant red or brilliant blue or glittering green, I could do that. We've got so many beautiful holiday foils in our collection. So even though I'm using mostly gold and silver today, there are so many others. The one thing I'm going to tell you that's easy to do is to lose your carrier sheet, especially when you have stamp pockets all over the place like I do. So I store my foils in our large stamp pockets, and it really does make it easy to store them. But you can store them any way you want. You can keep them in the package they come in, or you can find your own storage. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit because I feel like I'm in, yes, hearts for Sherry Carroll, yes. Okay. So I'm going to do the Christmas balls in the gold. I've got so much gold because I use it so much. I'm going to do the Christmas balls in the plain 14 karat gold. All right. So again, using my Swiffer. Actually, I'm going to trim this down a little bit so I can save a little more gold. Let me smile for Heidi. Heidi's taking pictures. She's so funny. I'll tell you guys, Heidi is such a joy. She's such a joyful human being to be with. I know that you guys probably know that because of her persona on her lives, when she goes lives, her personality. She is every bit exactly the way she is on her lives. She is exactly like that in person. So much fun. She can turn any negative situation into a positive. She is pure joy. That's why whenever I think of you, Heidi, and I see the color yellow, I'm like, that's Heidi, pure joy. All right, so I have something under there, but I think it's going to be fine. All right, so I'm sending this one through. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to prepare my flurries. Y'all watched her with Tim and Mario, right? If you haven't watched that live video, make sure you watch her with Tim and Mario because they are also, Tim and Mario are also so much fun. They're pure joy too. And when those 3 get together, that's worth watching several replays. Okay, So I'm going to do the second one here, and then I'll get that flurries together. I didn't realize it was going to go through that fast. I'll tell you, our industry is really, truly one of the most supportive industries ever. We got such a lovely text this morning from Mario and from Tim. They knew we were going live, and just so supportive. Such a lovely industry, right? And then all of you in the chat with your hearts and your snowflakes and your joy that you bring to our lives every week. Such a great place to be. Whoops, let me pull that out. See, you don't want it to go in crooked. You want it to go in straight. There we go. If it goes in crooked, it'll crinkle up your carrier sheet. You can fix it by setting your fuse all the way up to 5, the hottest, and send it through a few times and it will flatten out. Okay, so now we're going to peel and reveal. Look at those. Aren't they amazing? They are so beautiful. Oh, I love that. Okay, and we can keep this because we could always put this over the toner sheets if we wanted to and do a second one. You can see what that would look like with the black, and then you can die cut those out and use those on a second card. Will I ever collaborate with Tim Holtz? I would love to collaborate. I would do anything with Tim Holtz. I love Tim Holtz. Absolutely. If someday an opportunity ever presents itself and Tim ever is not as busy as he is, and I'm ever not as busy as I am, I think we could make that happen, and it would just be so fun. Oh my gosh. Heidi, make that happen.
Well, it's fun to see you guys create last year. You know, seeing you guys together in a maker space was really magical.
Yeah. Oh, he's just...
And then everybody who got to come and make with us in Columbus.
It was so fun. Yes.
Which might be this was unplanned, but we are planning on a create for 2026 in Columbus, Ohio. If you think that would be a good idea, we're working on it.
Yeah, if you think that would be a good idea,
throw
some emojis in the chat.
We're working on
hands emoji or a thumbs up emoji.
It's a lot of work, so we only want to do it if people want to come. You know, you don't want to have a party and not people show up. Right?
I want to come.
Okay, well, I want to be there.
Are you kidding? Okay, let's see if people want to be there. Anybody that's ever been to Create will never miss another Create because they are truly one of the most magical events in our industry. It's just so cool because like all the companies are there and you get to meet everybody in person. It's so fun.
And make.
And make. It's nonstop making. There's like, gosh, I mean, if you're fast at crafting, you could probably make 60 cards that weekend or close to it if you take the classes and everything. Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay. All right, so now I'm dusting the back of this Polyglaze. This is the glimmering gold. You can see the difference. And I dusted the front of the flurries, and I'm going to send this through. All right. There we go. And I have a couple pieces cut out here already, so I don't know if I need to do a greeting. Let me see what I have in my little bag of tricks here. I have this one cut, so I don't have to cut that. And I think I will do one greeting because I don't have an extra greeting, but there is the other one. I'm going to cut just the 2 small ones out of these. And then using the plain 14 karat foil, and see this? This is the piece that I already used. I can cut this out right here, and I can use it to foil my greeting. So even though it's already gone through the machine, doesn't affect it. You can still use it to do a greeting. So let me find a greeting that I want to do. I think I will do, let's see.
And foil has no expiration date, does it?
No. So if you want to stock up on colors, by all means, get the colors that you want and you can use them year after year after year. I'm still using some of the same colors, packs of colors that came out when I first introduced foil with ThermoWeb probably 8 years ago, because they're colors that I use just for certain things. I have to have them in my collection. I might need it for something, but I don't use it up as quickly as I use my golds and my silvers and my reds.
Well, I think some people get confused with it because toner foil lasts a lot longer than the hot foil. Hot foil sometimes, I've had my hot foil expire, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about toner foil.
Yeah, toner foil. And I mean, if you're having trouble with it, I don't know all brands, but I do know that I have some older Thermoweb foil, who is the manufacturer of my foil. They make all my foils, and I know that it lasts a long time. So, I mean, I don't know much about hot foil, so Heidi, you would have to come in and help with that kind of stuff, those kinds of questions. Okay, so we have one ornament here, and now let's look at this peel and reveal. Oh, look at that. Can you see all of that sparkle, all that glitter in there? You can really see the difference too on a bigger project. Let me do this side by side. So this one here is the silver. This is our shimmering silver. I'm sorry, our sparkling silver. Shimmering, sparkling, dazzling. We've got all the names. But can you see like the glitter in that compared to just the simple shine of the plain gold? So this is our silver sparkle. This is our gold sparkle. So glimmering gold, sparkling silver, 14 karat. And we do have a plain silver too called sterling. All right, so I think I have all of my pieces here that I needed to cut out. So here's my greeting. Here's my Merry Christmas. And you can also do the negatives of the greetings, and you can cut them out with the dies too. And we also have plain white Polyglaze sheets available, and I think Simon Says Stamp, I know Simon Says Stamp carries them. Plain white Polyglaze sheets are the equivalent of these black toner sheets. So if you want to use the negative, but instead of black on the inside, you want white on the inside, you can always look at getting some of that. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of die cutting here, and we're going to make an A6 card. Now an A6 card is 4.5 by 6.25. That's the size of the card. And to cut that card base, you're going to go 9 by 6.25. And then you score it at the 4.5 inch mark to make a 4.5 by 6.25. Okay, so now we're going to need our dies. Where'd my dies go? See, I took them out to show you that Sherry Carroll was a genius. And then, I'll have to use Heidi's. And then I put them somewhere, and I know you guys probably see them, but I don't see them. Okay, so we're going to line that up. And then I told you earlier, I really like using our Masking Magic strips to hold my dies down, especially when I'm doing foil, because it is such a low tack masking paper that even if it gets onto the foil, it doesn't pull the foil off. It's really good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this one out. So what I want to make here is I want to make a little view, a little window. And I want the window to have like, I want the window to look like you're looking out the window onto sparkling snow, and then inside, hanging in front of the window, are some beautiful ornaments. So I think this will be a fun project to make, and it'll work really well with the master layout set that coordinates with A6 cards, which is master layout 17. So we have a whole master layout set dedicated to A6 cards. And they're becoming more and more and more popular because they're not as big as a 5x7, but they're bigger than an A2, so they're a little more substantial. They're kind of the size of an average Hallmark card. You know, those little Hallmark cards that you can get, not I mean, Hallmark makes all different size cards, but they're average. And the thing is that what I've noticed, I don't know if anybody has a different experience. Isn't it so cute? I love the little one. What I've experienced with mailing 5x7 cards, mailing A2 cards, and mailing A6 cards is none of them require any additional postage, which is really nice because, we already, I mean, some of the odd shapes like square cards and stuff like that do require additional postage. And they're okay once in a while. If you're sending something to somebody, you can always send it in the bigger envelope and add a piece of cardstock in there to like keep it stiff. But when you're mass producing for Christmas and you've got a lot of Christmas cards to send, it's nice when they can go for just the price of a stamp. And the other thing about the Polyglaze that makes Polyglaze so enticing for holiday cards is that the Polyglaze already adds a lot of the sparkle and shine. And so because of that, you don't have to put a lot of embellishments on these cards if you're trying to get them through for just the price of the stamp. They can go pretty flat, and all of that matters when we're trying to figure out what we're doing. All right, I want to move this fuse out of the way so I can move this die cutting machine back. No, I just needed to push that out of the way. I'm good. I want the die cutting machine to be back here a little bit so they can see the master layout set that I'm going to use. So the master layout set that I'm going to use is Master Layout 17. So this one has a stitch die and a layering piece, and then it has a smaller stitched rectangle and layering piece that could make a strip going across the center to divide things up if you want. And then it's got a window, and this is a window sill. So if you wanted to pop the window sill up, it comes in 2 pieces, and you can do that. Now, I already did a video on this entire die set. So if you're looking for more information on this die set and how it works, and you can always check out my YouTube channel and look for the Master Layouts 17 die set. So I'm going to be using a lot of white here. I want to use some white cardstock. Heidi, tell me, should I use... Okay, so I want to make a card similar to this. So I need Heidi's advice here. I want to make a card similar to this, but I want all the sparkles to be in the window. So what color should I do for this back panel? Should I do a red or should I do a traditional green? What do you think?
You want the sparkles to be in the window. I would do a red, but
you like a
what
red?
do you think?
I think a red would be great.
Do you guys have a thought? Red or green?
Ooh.
Or maybe somebody has another thought. Although we're on a delay, so maybe we might have to wait a few seconds to see.
No, that's okay. I want to hear what they think. Okay, I see red coming through. So a lot of people are saying red. Ooh, blue. People are saying blue, too.
Your sea glass blue is pretty incredible.
That is pretty incredible. Sea glass is good. But what do you think about blue with the gold versus blue? I think it'd be pretty.
It's a win-win situation.
Okay, all right. I actually see more blue than red.
Really? Oh my gosh!
I see more blue than red. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I only see a few green.
Yep.
What's up with all the green haters? Well,
No, they're not haters,
it is fall.
but yeah.
It's blue and red and blue.
Yep.
Blue.
Yep.
All right.
And one purple. I love purple too. All right, let's go with the blue, and let's go with like a sea glass blue, because I think this would be a really pretty color, and it will feel very wintry. So, and I think it'll look pretty with the gold. I generally don't do blue and gold together. However, isn't that kind of a signature Tiffany thing? Like Tiffany, the jewelry? I don't know.
Blue Jays, because I'm a
Blue Jay
was my mascot.
Oh, really?
School, so we were blue and gold, me gold.
Okay, all right, we're going to do blue in honor of Heidi's high school.
Does anybody in the chat even know where Delphos, Ohio is? That's where I went to high school. Delphos, Ohio.
Delphos?
Yeah.
Delphos, Ohio. Anybody from near Delphos, Ohio?
There's probably only 300 people in the whole world.
If anybody's near Delphos, Ohio, put some hearts in the chat for Heidi.
And the hearts go silent.
So I'm going to...
Very small town.
All right, so I'm going with the blue here. I'm going with the sea glass. All right, so we'll see what it looks like. You know, we gotta try. This is a very pretty, like almost robin's egg blue. So you see, I cut that out using the stitched die from Master Layout 17. Now I'm going to add a black panel, so I'm going to use the plain die from Master Layout 17. And I'm going to use a black piece of cardstock. Oh, people are giving hearts, Heidi. There are some.
Are you sure? Are those typos? I see somebody from Van Wert in the chat. Hello, Van Wert. That's right, near Delphin.
Is it?
That's where we would go out to eat for a fancy dinner before prom. We go to the big city of Van Wert. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And now look at you all up in Columbus. I almost put that die in upside down. See, I'm not paying attention. I'm getting all excited with all the hearts. All right. So, hi Susan Opal. She said she used to live in northeastern Indiana. Now Susan lives out in Salt Lake City area, right? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm out here in Wisconsin. We're just out here freezing all winter long doing our thing. Okay, so now I cut this panel out. And you can see that this panel, this is the beauty of Master Layouts, that panel is going to perfectly line up with that blue panel and give you that cute little delicate shadow layer that everybody loves but everybody hates to hand cut. And now we're going to cut some white windows. All right, so I'm going to use a big piece of cardstock here and I am going to cut a white window.
Gina, do you know if our European fuse will work in Sweden?
Okay, so let me tell you what we have. We have 4 different models of our fuse. We have a US model that works for the US and Canada. It's North American, so it may work in Mexico as well. We have a European model that has the traditional European plug. We have a UK model that has the traditional UK plug, which is different than the European plug. And then we have an Australian model that has a traditional Australian plug. If you know what plug you would use out of those 4 options, that's the one that you should get. I don't know what Sweden uses, but I'm sure people in Sweden know which one would be the most consistent with that. So hopefully that helps. Most people don't realize that for the fuse we have to have so many different versions because of all the different electrical requirements.
Catherine said EU works for Sweden.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Catherine. We appreciate that. I'm going to cut one more piece of white here, and then we're going to cut a second window out. And I have it angled a little bit just because it goes through the machine a little bit easier on an angle. Okay, so a lot of people have gold and blue in their high school too, Heidi. You're not the only one. So I'm cutting 2 of these because I'm going to layer them together just to give it a little bit of, just a little bit of something there. A little bit of stiffness. Kind of creates a little bit. I actually like doing 3, but I'm just going to do 2 for today for this card. Okay, so now, just cleaning off my die cutting machine. Now we are going to cut this. We're going to cut this with the same die. So we're kind of bringing some snowflakes through the window, okay? Now what we could do is we could do a little bit of inking in here with that blue if we wanted to, but I think I'm going to just keep it simple and white just for the purpose of this card. All right. So if you wanted to do like a sky outside the window, you could certainly do that look, but we're going to keep it white just for the purpose of this card. Okay, so there are my 4 windows, and then I would keep this window for something else if you wanted to, or remember I said I prefer doing 3? I think I might just put it behind here just to give it a little bit of extra depth. I know it's terrible to waste the Polyglaze sheet, but I have some more, so...
It's like a hidden Mickey.
Yeah, a little
Hidden behind.
little secret back there. Okay, now let's get to assembling this card. I know it's tragic to do this, but we're going to do it. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of Connect glue. So for those of you that are new to Gina K Designs, Connect glue seems to be a fan favorite. So I'm going to just use some glue here. And I want to tell you, if you're looking at embellishments to go along with this, one of my favorite new embellishments to Gina K Designs is our holographic stars. So check out the holographic stars. It was the one item that I didn't grab beforehand, but check those out because they are the perfect embellishment for these ornaments and the tree and all of that, because it gives you like an actual ornament shape. It's not just a dot or a pearl. It's actually a little star, and they are gorgeous. I don't think I have them here. Oh, I do! I do! Here they are. I might put a few of these onto this card just to bring the gold, because you can see they're silvery, but they've got gold in them too. Aren't they gorgeous? I'm going to use a couple of those. I thought I forgot them, but I didn't forget them.
They're quite the holograph.
Oh, I'm dropping all my pieces too. Tom. Okay. Now my Connect glue is getting stuck here. My goodness. It's because when I came in this morning to clean up my space, I saw my glue sitting open like a dummy. I forgot to close my glue, so I need to get a little pin. There we go. Okay. This is good. This will work. This one will work. I always have more than one anyway. I have to have a couple fine tip bottles with the Connect glue. So by building these up on top of each other, it gives us that little bit of lift, that little texture. And what's nice about that too is you can, pull your window away from the card base with foam squares or something like that. But if you're mailing it, this is going to keep it nice and flat. All right. So this is going to be my window. And then I want to pop these inside the window. I want to paper piece them down in there, because I want the sparkle and shine to be behind there. So this is what I'm going to go for, this look. I like that look. So then when you turn the window, you get that shine, but it's not overpowering. And then we're going to put these Christmas balls on the front of the card, hanging in front of the window like this. Let's pull this one up more, and then we'll bring this one down here a little bit more like that. Oh, that's going to be such a pretty card. So sweet. And then we'll add our greeting onto there. All right, let's go ahead and do that layout. So let's get this down first onto the card. So you can use glue if you want, but you can also use tape for this because this is pretty big. It doesn't have a lot of fine details, so if you don't want to use glue, you can always use tape for this.
Is now an okay time to interrupt because I can come back in a minute?
You can. Now is a great time.
I just want to, I'm in the behind the scenes, and I want to give full and fair disclosure that the Polyglaze is almost gone.
Okay.
There's almost no Polyglaze left. And the stamp and die bundle is also moving very quickly. So I'm not trying to create hype like those home shopping networks or anything that I see like going one left. But I just want to give you guys full and fair disclosure that if you do like this product that you're seeing, I know that Gina is demoing, and we do love to watch Gina demo. I absolutely love to watch Gina demo. But if you're interested in these stamp dyes and or the Polyglaze, you really need to grab it soon, because I'm going to feel sick to my stomach if people watch the live and then the live's over and it's too late.
Yeah,
so
no,
I just want to be
I'm sure
fair.
people appreciate that. I would appreciate knowing that if I was waiting until the end of the live to go make my purchase because I didn't want to miss something and then I missed out. I would appreciate that. So thank you, Heidi, for letting us know. Okay, so you see I'm just paper piecing these into these holes. And then I'm going to add those ornaments on top. Now you can always like wood grain this window if you wanted it to look more, you know, like realistic. But if you like this nice crisp white, you can do that. Okay, so let's finish this up. And I am going to pop all of this up. And then I'll show you how to quickly cut the card base. And then we have a couple more card samples to share with you. So it's not over yet. There's still more inspiration. So I'm going to use my foam squares here. I've got 1/2 inch and I also have 1/4 inch. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch foam square here. And this is pretty skinny here, so I'm going to trim these to make them pretty skinny. Just like that. These are really skinny. And we don't even have to pop them up. If you don't want to pop them up, you don't have to, because they're already kind of popped up on the window there. But if you like to kind of create that separation, it won't hurt to pop them up. So I'm using really skinny little pieces of these foam squares. Like that. And we'll pop this up here. So we're going to take this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this so that it goes right up to the top. So I'm going to just cut it like that so it's flat. And then it'll go right up to the top of this cardstock here. This is such a delicate look. Okay. Now we're going to do another one. We'll just put a small foam square there. And once again, we're going to use these little itty bitties. I mean, these are too small to like produce. You just have to make them yourself. They're just so tiny. Little tiny bits. And I'm trying to be cool and use the tweezers, because all the cool kids use the tweezers, and then I put that on there and I'm gonna cut it off. So let me just put this aside. All right, let's see where we want this one. Let's cut this one right up about here. We're just gonna cut it. And then I'll add the extra little foam squarey. And we'll put that like right there. There we go. Oh, it would be good to take the liner off the foam square. Get it straight. There we go. Okay. Is that straight? It's better than horrible. And now we're going to do this last one, and we'll leave this one a little bit longer, like that. I will trim the top just so that it's flat. And we'll do one more foam square here. And I'm going to need a little bit more of the skinny. That might not be as skinny, but I think it's going to be easier. How we doing, Heidi?
Well, I'm answering questions in the chat. Somebody had a really good question about their card kits get billed tonight, and they want to know if they could add this to their card kit. order. I am behind the scenes, and the Polyglaze is not going to last until tonight. So the question is, if you're ordering the stamp die and Polyglaze bundle, no, because I'm hoping that it lasts through the live. I'm not trying to rush you, Gina. Can't take your time. But so no, I would not count on combining that with your card kit that gets built tonight. If you're interested in it, you've got to get it now. The stamps and dies are also going quickly. We do our best. I promise. We do our best every year to figure out the numbers that we need to purchase and the lead times we need to purchase. And as you guys can imagine, our stamp manufacturer too is very, very busy this time of year. So we took our best guess at it, and we do want to have enough for everybody that wants it, but it's really just a guessing game. And Gina does such an incredible job of showing you all the ways to use the Polyglaze. There's lots of other Polyglazes besides the shimmering one today that's available that you guys are also loving. I can tell because I'm behind the scenes looking at the website. I can tell you guys are loving her Polyglazes. So really well
so
done,
glad.
Gina.
Well,
I think it's a really great, innovative product. So thank you.
Oh, it's super fun, and there's so many other Polyglaze designs that you can add sparkle and shine. And you know what else is really gorgeous? So just keep this in mind. Mixing Polyglaze and gold embossing or silver embossing. I did a card last year on my YouTube channel where I did the actual stamped design in embossing powder, and then I mixed in polyglazed elements where I, cut little circles of polyglaze, and I used a polyglazed background, and then I added sequins into the mix, and just so many different ways to do that. All right, so now we've got our little card here. Let's just go with a simple, my old tonic cutter. Let's just go with a simple white card base behind there. So we're going to cut this 9 inches. This is our A6 card. 9 inches by 6 1/4. So that's right here. I know I like the big 12 by 12 style even better. But, you could still find that spot. And then I need to find my scoreboard. I know it's under this mess somewhere. My scoring board. Well, you know what? I don't know where. I know it's up here, but I'm just going to. Well, I don't even have a tool for this one. Oh no.
Can I help you find something?
Yeah, I don't know where my scoreboard went. Oh, here it is. See?
Oh,
the minute this happens all the time. I'll lose something and I'll say, Tom, can you go get me one? And then when he goes, that's when I find it. So 4.5 inches we're going to score this card at. So it'll be 4.5 by 6 1/4. And that fits into a standard A6 envelope. We also have A6 envelopes in our line, and they may be available at Simon Says Stamp right now. If not, get on their notify me list because they will be getting more in. We were out of them for a little while, but I think they are either coming back in or they just went back in, but there we go. And that gives you that nice framed look. Oh, I love this card, Heidi. Remember we talked about it last night, doing the A6 for my A6 girlies and guys?
A6 in the house.
Yes. And then we're going to add, because there's stars in this polyglaze too, in the flurries background, we're going to add a few of these holographic stars. So let me spill some out here. They're so cute. And I'm going to find a few little spots to add some stars. So I'm going to put one there, one here, one here. Let's add those first. So there are many different size stars in this pack. We're going to add a few of them, and this is going to bring like silver and gold together, which is so fun to have silver and gold. Wait till you see how cute these stars are. Oh my word. Okay, let's add one here and one here. Okay, we'll do we could do a bigger one here and then a tiny one up here. And let's do one here. I'm trying to put them in different spots on these two just so that it's not exactly in the same places. And we'll do little ones on this one. So here. The pick and stick tool works really great for these little stars. As you can see, it's doing a pretty good job. And then we could add a couple of them into the background as well. See if I can keep seeing those white dots, white on white. You'll see the difference when I turn this into the light. I know these are kind of hard to see here, but you'll be able to see them. I think we need one. Heidi. Oh my goodness. Tom, I need you to start doing that. I need you to start like coming in with a camera, and I just want to press those down. All right. Yeah.
Oh, they can see that on the screen.
They could. You didn't realize they could see what you're doing on the screen? Oh my goodness. Get Heidi some Depends. All right, so check this out. So can you see, like, there's the little silvery stars in there too? Oh my gosh, there's just so much shine in this, but they're spectacular. So you've got, these are like reflecting that little bit of blue and also the silver. You see that in there? Oh, they're beautiful. And these are also great for shaker cards. They're so pretty. So grab a few of those too in your mix. All right, so I'm going to show you these cards again, all the cards that I shared today, and then Heidi is going to show you a couple of additional cards. So we have this A6 card. Here are the difference in the size. Here's the A2, here's the A6, here's the 5x7. So it's like, you know, small, medium, and large. So you can see the difference. So depending on what you like and how, you know, how big of a card you want. This card is great, you know, from all of us, and we want to sign it. This is a little personal card, and this is a nice little family card. So we've got this design. I have to just show the sparkle. This one. And then we've got this one here, done in that silver sequins. Then we've got this gorgeous one here. Oh, I love that. I mean, look at the difference in the way that shines, Heidi. That is embossing powder. That's gold embossing powder. So look at what you can create just with stamps. I love that. And then, you know, my no sparkle girlies and guys, you've got postage. You just add a little glitter or sparkle to the ornaments and the snowflakes. We've got some bright, colorful ones here. And we've got this little rainbow. So many things. I will take pictures and send these over to Simon Says Stamp, and I'll share them in my group too, just because I know a lot of you got this stamp set, and you are, and the dies and everything, and you're going to want these cards as inspiration, these ideas. The other thing I want to say about these is every single one of these cards can be made without Polyglaze. So if you did miss out on the Polyglaze, break out your gold and silver embossing powder and mimic that layout. Use gorgeous ink colors, blues and golds and the black, and make it striking. You don't need the Polyglaze. If you missed out on it, you can still make beautiful cards. If you didn't miss out on it, congratulations. You're going to have a lot of extra sparkle and shine. So now here's Heidi to show you two stunning cards by my friend Kathy Zilski.
Love the font of the Merry and Bright and the messaging for Merry Christmas.
And look at this card. Look at this embossing powder. That is gorgeous.
Beautiful shine. And then Kathy also did kind of the STAMPtember logo this year. I love that Gina did her snowflakes in these beautiful colors. And Kathy Zilski made her card with the ornaments.
And
those
the pink.
Beautiful colors too.
Oh my gosh, I love the pink that she used. Kathy Zilski is pretty amazing. She did white embossing powder. Look at that. White emboss. See, this is so creative because my rainbow I stamped in color. Hers she stamped in white on color. That's really beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kathy Z is absolutely, Her ability, her eye, graphic design eye, the clean and simple nature of her cards, stunning. These are beautiful. Thank you, Kathy.
Yes, thank you, Kathy. We will put pictures of all this inspiration on our website, on the Simon Says Stamp website, next to these products that when you look at the Gina K collaboration, you'll see the products. We also will have some on our blog, on our social media. If the hashtag STAMPtember 2025, you'll see a lot of the inspiration that's here. There's other makers
I know.
from all around the world who got Gina stamps, dies, and Polyglaze and have created beautiful things for all of you in hopes of inspiring all of you because it's STAMPtember. And Gina, thank you for doing this extra special Polyglaze surprise for us. We love STAMPtember surprising and delighting people. So I think that this was extra shimmery and surprising and delighting everyone. So I will go through the housekeeping. There's not much Polyglaze left. You've probably heard me say that a few times. The Polyglaze shimmering is almost gone. But the stamps and dies are still in stock for a limited time. We won't be restocking them. And the name of it, I keep saying shimmering, but it's actually Shimmering Christmas.
Yep.
But all of the products on here, the balls and the snowflakes, it's not all just Christmas. I love the detail in the snowflakes of the stamp set. So the stamps are available, and then the dies are also available, and they're sold. The stamps can be purchased separately, or they're bundled with the dies as well. And this is all for our Sweet 16 for STAMPtember. So how appropriate that we're Sweet 16ing it with all of the shimmering delight. Is there anything else we need to go over?
I don't think so. I think that there is a lot of inspiration. We've got to get busy taking pictures, right?
Yeah.
We got to share all of this. And
thank you to all of the people who have watched us live today. I don't remember if I even said thank you at the very beginning. I want to make sure that you all know we're lucky that we get to do this because of you, and we're super grateful. Gina and I love to get together and talk shop and exciting ideas of what's to come and what's in front of us, and it was really a delight to get to play with these products, and I'm going to keep playing with them. I really do. You'll be getting some Christmas cards with me if there's any Polyglaze left made with Polyglaze this year. So Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Have a wonderful STAMPtember. There's more to come. Noon Eastern time every day on the Simon Says Stamp blog. We have something special, new, and exciting for you, whether it's news or retreat or products or a class. It's just something all through STAMPtember. We want it to be a very inspirational month for you. And you add sparkle and shine to my life. Tom was talking about this earlier over coffee today, that there's certain people that light you up. And Gina is definitely one of those people that lights me up. And I would challenge everybody who's watching to find the person that lights them up. I mean, not find, but you acknowledge the person who lights you up. Send them a handmade card, send them a handmade note, give them something a little bit extra love and sparkle in their day, because it really does make life worthwhile, right?
It does.
Can I get an amen for that, right?
Amen.
So thank you, Gina.
Mwah.
Love you.
I
and
love
thank
you
you
too.
for all of you for watching us.
Yep. And happy STAMPtember,
Happy
everybody.
STAMPtember.
Woohoo!
Bye-bye.
Bye.